At work, the woman noticed her hair was drilling into her fingers. At first, she thought it was just her imagination, but during lunch, her hair actually absorbed all the sauce from her plate, leaving it completely clean. It turned out that May had suffered scalp damage in childhood and could only hide the scars under an afro hairstyle. When she grew up, her co-workers mocked her outrageous look, and even her boyfriend found her unworthy and broke up with her decisively. So she took all her savings and walked into a mysterious Thai hair salon. Tony, the stylist, promised that everyone who got hair transplants there became absolutely irresistible without exception. Blinded by the promise of beauty, May immediately chose a sleek black long-haired style. However, the transplant process was far more brutal than she'd imagined. Tony tied up all her original hair in knots, then without any anesthesia used iron needles to pierce each strand into her scalp one by one. May fainted from the excruciating pain on the spot. When she woke up again, she looked like a goddess in the mirror. Instantly, she felt all the suffering had been worth it. But Tony warned her that this hair must never get wet, or it would fall out on its own. The transformed May returned to her company, and indeed became the heartthrob Tony had promised. Everyone turned to look at her, and even her female colleagues were giving her flirtatious glances. However, May had no idea that a terrifying nightmare was quietly approaching. When she accidentally cut her finger, she was shocked to discover her hair was frantically drilling into the wound. During dinner, the hair that fell onto her plate absorbed all the sauce completely. Just as May was about to find Tony for answers, her drunk landlord barged into her room. Seeing May's lustrous black hair, he instantly lost control. In desperation, May stabbed the landlord with a knife, but the smell of blood immediately activated the demonic hair. The hair wrapped around the landlord's arm, pulled him down, then drilled into his wounds and sucked him dry. Terrified, May threw the corpse downstairs, but strangely, the police couldn't determine the cause of death. After tasting human blood, the demonic hair became unstoppable. When May got her period, the hair consumed it entirely, becoming even more silky and lustrous. Frightened, May researched and discovered the truth. Unscrupulous merchants stole hair from corpses, gave it a simple wash, and sold it cheaply to hair salons. Once this hair was implanted into living scalps, bizarre incidents would occur. At the company party, the most handsome guy was completely mesmerized by May and invited her to a hotel. Faced with his passionate invitation, May couldn't refuse. However, during their intimate moment at the hotel, the demonic hair struck again, instantly sucking the man dry. Panicked, May fled to the hair salon wanting to remove the extensions. But the moment the shop owner raised her scissors, the demonic hair gained consciousness and sucked all three people in the shop dry. In just an instant, vibrant lives turned to withered bones. So May hid overnight at her company, only to discover that her co-workers had all died horribly in the office, their deaths identical to those killed by the demonic hair. It turned out her female supervisor had also gotten the same demonic hair implants. Her hair needed to feed on human blood daily, and all those dead colleagues were victims of her hair extensions killing spree. The supervisor tried to solve the problem with scissors, but was possessed by the demonic hair instead.